Hiya guys, I'm doing my first update in regards to this surgery that I've just had, and I'm nearly 6 weeks post-op. I'll explain in the video why I'm nearly 6 weeks post-op and I'm doing my first video. I usually do a video every single week when I'm 1 week post-op, 2 weeks post-op, so on and so on. And yeah, so that's what I always do in terms of my other surgeries. That's what I've always done with my top surgery, stage 1 and stage 2. And just when you think surgery couldn't get any harder, you have another operation. And that's basically what's happened this time around. So sort of briefly explain without taking up too much of your time, what's happened is that I've had my stage 3 surgery, which was on the 28th of November 2016. I'll be 6 weeks post-op on Monday. And basically, it really wiped me out. I can't even describe it really any better than that. I had my surgery. The surgery is only an hour and a half long. This stage involved connecting the new urethra that was made in stage 2 to my bladder. And so I've got to, 1 minute, got to get a cushion. So it involved connecting my new urethra that was in my penis to my bladder so that I can stand to pee. No skin grafts or anything, nothing gory. I didn't come out with 1,000 bandages or disabled in any way. So it involved that. It involved burying the clit. It involved taking away the vagina, which is called the vaginectomy. And as far as I'm aware, they basically burnt it out. Sounds gross, I know. So they basically burnt it out, stitched it all together. They took away with the lips of the vagina, so the labia or labia, whatever they're called. Who cares about posh words? So they took away the bottom half of them, which was nearest to the entrance of the vagina. Done away with those, didn't need it anyway. And then with the top half of the lips, they stitched them together to create the testicle sac. So the ball sac, essentially. I don't have any testicles yet, just the sac, because the testicles will be put in the next stage, which is the final stage. One of them will be a synthetic testicle, and I've already picked my size, which was weird. And the other one will be the pump for the erectile device. I'll go into that in a bit. So basically, yeah, so in a nutshell, they took away the vagina, connected my urethra to my penis, and created the ball sack. That's pretty much all they did. And I was only in hospital for 2 nights after my surgery, winning, because I hate being in hospital anyway. But I left hospital the day after my surgery. I was sort of skipping about. Things were great. I was getting up and going for walks. And then on the Wednesday, I had the surgery on the Monday, and on the Wednesday, I was literally up. Got my own breakfast, got myself dressed, sort of packed my bag and faffed about, even started DJing on my laptop in my hospital room. I was feeling really upbeat, really good about it, thinking, great, the surgery is only an hour and a half long, so therefore, the sort of knock-on effect isn't going to be as bad as the other operations, blah, 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 because after stage 2, I literally turned around and said, I'm not doing this anymore, because it was really hard. So, all was good. I get to 1 week post-op. How am I feeling? I'm feeling great. I'm able to walk. I started driving again. I'm contemplating going back to work. This is all going really well. And then I get to 2 weeks post-op and I start feeling a little bit rough. Now, at 1 week post-op, I had 2 catheters in. One was going into my penis and one was going into my stomach. Now, the one leading into my penis didn't go anywhere. It was just there to keep sort of the entrance clear. While it was recovering. That was taken out 1 week post-op, so my local nurse did that. She drained the ball in the catheter, pulled it out, no problems, felt great, not gonna lie. I get to 2 weeks post-op, things start getting pretty rough. So I'm already 2 weeks post-op, I'm going into the 3rd week, and I start going downhill rapidly, really rapidly. I'm unable to walk, I can't stand for more than 30 seconds, actually possibly 10 seconds. I can't sit for too long either. Lying down seems to be the best solution. The catheter is giving me pain like you wouldn't believe. And I just start thinking that everything's going backwards, and maybe I've done too much and I'm damaging myself, and I haven't rested like I should have been resting, and I thought that I kind of brought it on myself. I was lucky enough that I was actually in touch with another trans guy who had his surgery a couple of days before me. Um, so it might have even been a week before. So we were sort of like keeping in touch quite often, and I was asking him what it was that he was feeling and this, that, and the other, and it turns out that he was feeling the same thing. After doing further research, it turns out that weeks 3 and 4 after the third stage, or the second stage for most, um, are actually the worst. So weeks 3 and 4 is when your body, where your vaginal like passage used to be inside you when they've sort of like taken it all away, weeks 3 and 4 is when your body, with this gap inside you now, is doing this. And I can't describe the pain. The pain is just unbelievable. I really, really struggled. Really bad. There wasn't enough painkillers in the world. I was discharged from hospital with some, but they were only a week's worth. So I ended up having to take ibuprofen and paracetamol every 2 hours. So ibuprofen, and then 2 hours later paracetamol, 2 hours later ibuprofen. And that was, in all honesty, barely taking the edge off. I was still pretty much incapable of doing most things. I still tried pushing through and stuff, thinking that I was just being a bit of a wuss, and it wasn't the case. Turns out I should have just stayed in bed. So not so great. So weeks 3 and 4 really, really bad. I'm at the point at the end of week 2, well, at the end of the third week, which would have then made me 3 weeks post-op. I was at a point where I thought, I can't do this. It was getting really, really difficult. I emailed the surgeon because you're supposed to have the catheter out of your stomach at 3 weeks post-op. I spoke to someone in London, in the London team, who told me that I was being delirious, I think is the word he used. For nobody has their catheter out at 3 weeks post-op, it's always 4. And yet, the surgeon told me himself when I was in hospital, oh, we normally take them out at 3 weeks post-op, but because your 3 weeks post-op collides with Christmas and New Year, we won't be doing that, so we've booked you in on the 4th of January. Now, the 4th of January, which was a couple of days ago, would have made me 5 weeks, 2 days post-op. 5 weeks and 2 days post-op, in my opinion, is too long to be having a catheter in when your body wants to push it out. So my body was doing exactly that. I asked my local nurse, and she couldn't accept responsibility, unfortunately. So that left me with the local hospital. In regards to the local hospital, they said that there was a 6-week waiting list. So I was like, scrap that then. I basically ended up emailing my surgeon, which I recommend everyone do, and asked if he could give me instructions on how to remove it myself. In which I ended up doing, and I filmed it. I'm having a couple issues with that film at the minute, because God knows why, but I edited it on my Mac, and it produced it as a QuickTime Player file or something, which YouTube won't accept. Nightmare. So I am working on converting that, but because the file is so large, I'm having a few problems. So I did film my catheter, like removing my catheter myself, and I will get it on YouTube ASAP. After removing the catheter, everything was great. Literally amazing, actually. The pain was so much better already. It eased up quite a lot, but I was still in quite a lot of agony in regards to sitting or standing for too long. So I powered then through the 4th week, and I literally got to the end of the 4th week and thought, I can't take much more of this, and I was at a breaking point. I was feeling depressed. Things were bringing me down. I felt like I was definitely going backwards. There was no way that this was, supposed to be a part of the healing process. It was quite lucky, actually, that I had my friend Nick, who'd had his surgery the week before me, there to reassure me. He was basically saying that it does get better, and he was feeling better already, blah, blah, blah. So I just sort of literally focused on get up, just have your eyes open for the day and go back to sleep again, and that's another day down. And that's what I had to do, because simple things like playing on my iPad or reading a book or even texting someone was becoming a challenge, and it was irritating and depressing, and whatever else I could fit into that category, to say the least, because I'm a very, very, very active person, and for me to just sit in bed all day is not me at all. So I get to 4 weeks post-op, and I'm feeling a little bit better. 4 weeks, 2 days, 4 weeks, 3 days. feeling really, really good. Get to 5 weeks post-op, which was 5 days ago. Feeling much, much, much better. Now, nearly 6 weeks post-op, by this point, with any other surgery I've had, I've been not only fine, but I've returned to work. I'm back in full-time hours, doing both my jobs again, loving life, as if I never had surgery at all. I'm usually doing absolutely fine. Now, 2 days' time, I'll be 6 weeks post-op. I'm still in pain. I'm still taking painkillers every couple of hours. I'm not finding it difficult as such anymore to do stuff like walk and sit and stand. I can do it for a little bit longer, but again, I can't. Sitting down I'm okay with now. Standing I can't do for more than a minute or so. Still quite challenging where that's concerned. But at least things are getting better. It's not the same as weeks 3 and 4 when I genuinely nearly gave up on myself. So here I am right now, sat in my boxes. And I was considering whether to show you, but I think I'm going to save it for a little bit longer because I'm still not 100% healed. I'm still getting quite a bit of pain now. It's hurting me to even sit like this. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. I know a lot of people have been emailing me and messaging me and every other way of being able to contact me, basically, in regards to doing another YouTube update, because there's some people that have been following my Instagram and my Facebook know that when I've been able to do the odd status or photo update every now and then, they know I've had surgery, but they don't know what's going on. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to explain. I usually do a weekly update, but I've just been in so much agony. It's been so hard, really hard, actually. That at times I even sat there contemplating, do I really need to stand to pee? Yes, I do. But, all in all, it has been worth it. It has definitely been worth it, but it has been really, really hard. Really hard. And, I don't know what advice I'd give to someone. Well, actually I do. Anyone else that goes through this process, I really strongly recommend you just do not get out of bed. Don't get out of bed. Oh my god. So, there's that. In regards to standing to pee, it feels great. Feels like it was always supposed to happen. But I do advise, or more like pre-warn, anyone else that's going to go through this, what I'm going through now, beware that when you go to stand for your first pee, it does feel like it's going to come out where it used to. That's exactly what it feels like. As I stood up to take my first pee, and this is when I still had the catheter in, so I was bypassing the catheter, I remember I sort of like really thought about it, because it feels obviously like weird at first, because you feel like you should just pee all over the floor, to be honest. I really thought about it, and I sort of thought, let it go, and as I let it go, I felt it go down towards where my vagina used to be and where it used to come out. And I sort of like clenched up really quickly, and I was like, oh my god, it's going to come out where it used to. This hasn't worked, and I was convinced that the surgery hadn't worked. Again, I messaged my mate. He was like, no, it's supposed to happen like that. So I was like, okay. So back to the toilet I went. And you really have to concentrate and really try and relax to sort of like, you're like, I might pee myself, but then I might not. Here goes nothing, So I just stood there, and I just thought, let it go. And I did, and I felt it go down. And then I felt it go back up and out of my penis. First time. No leaks. Bloody brilliant. This was amazing. Stood there. It hurt, obviously, because I was bypassing the catheter and, I was still healing. But at the same time, I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I even Snapchatted it. And, I Snapchatted my first pee. And it was brilliant. And that's another thing as well. I'll put my Snapchat details down the bottom for you as well, so you can add me, because I don't Snapchat often, but when I do, it's the most random stuff ever, and it's usually in regards to my transition. So, yeah, I Snapchatted my first pee. Felt weird, but great. All went well, no leaks. This is good. So now I've been peeing standing for 2 weeks. Things are going really, really well. But a little bit of advice. You have to, like, bearing in mind that you're in the same position as me and you haven't had any testicle implants, which seems to be the new thing in regards to our surgeons in London, you have to, like, squeeze the ball sack, basically. So, like, say this is, like, you're underneath and your penis is here. Like, when you pee, you have to, like squeeze the ball sack like that, because it seems that when the pee goes down and back up again, as soon as your body loses that force behind it to pee, and you're down to the last bit, you sort of, like, squeeze it and then it comes out. But I am still having to wear, like, pads in my underwear, in my boxes, because I still leak. But apparently this is something that stops when you're about 2.5 months post-op. I'm yet to find out. I'm halfway through now, so I've got another 6 weeks to go, and I should find out. Hopefully. I don't want to be wearing pads forever. But yeah, so basically I just leak a little bit, so I guess it's where the urine is still gathering in the balls, and maybe I'm not draining it properly. I don't really know, but I'll keep you posted on that. So yeah, I mean, it's looking all right. I'm quite pleased with the results. Oh, that's another thing as well. Another thing that was done in the surgery, they sculpted the head of the penis. How could I forget about that? And that came from there. See my scar? So that's my new scar, the latest edition. They took the tiniest strip of skin to basically sculpt the head of the penis. And yeah, so as it stands, this is hurting. So as it stands, new penis, fully working, looks fine in the underwear. Yeah, I'm really personally happy with it. Looking really good so far. But I will do a reveal when it's a little bit more healed. I mean, all the stitches have come out now. They came out over the last few days. I had a bath for the first time 2 days ago, and as I got in the bath, 3 or 4 stitches just floated to the top, and I was just like, oh, that was weird. Considering how vigorously I clean as well, I was really surprised that there was still stitches that were floating around. But as far as I can see, all the stitches are gone now. They've all dissolved. So that's good. So yeah, I will do a reveal. I promise I will. Because I've noticed that the last video has really benefited quite a lot of people. I'm really chuffed about that. And yeah, any more questions, feel free to either email me, Facebook me, Snapchat me, Instagram me, whatever bloody way of, contacting me there is. I'll leave all my details below. And, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And the next video is going to be the reveal, aside from the catheter removal once I get that uploaded. But yeah, the next video I record will be my reveal. So thanks again, guys. See you later.